Welcome to another exciting episode of VegasVibes Junction, where we bring you the most influential voices shaping our community. Our guest today has an extraordinary legacy of public service and leadership. She recently concluded her tenure as the Senior Vice President of the Touro University System, having previously served as CEO and Senior Provost at Touro University Western Division for over 8 years. Her career began in public service as an assemblywoman in the Nevada State Legislature in 1983, where she championed consumer protection and senior law. She was also appointed to the Nevada State Board of Regents, serving from 1990 to 1998, where she fought to keep tuition costs low and to establish a law school at UNLV. Her remarkable journey continued as she made history as the first woman to represent her district in the U.S. House of Representatives, serving 7 terms from 1999 to 2013. During her 14 years in Congress, she was an advocate for veterans, healthcare reform, and education. Additionally, she has a background as a practicing lawyer, having worked for the Nevada State Commerce Department, served as in-house counsel for Southwest Gas Corporation, and held the position of Vice President for Government and Legal Affairs for the Sands Hotel in Las Vegas. Now, she is taking on a new challenge, running for mayor of Las Vegas, bringing her wealth of experience and dedication to the forefront of our city's future. Her unwavering dedication to her constituents and profound impact on our community make her an exemplary leader. Please join me in welcoming none other than the aspiring Miss Shelley Berkley.
Thank you, Esmeralda. That was the most beautiful introduction I have ever had, so I appreciate it.
Well, I am truly impressed with your background
Oh,
and
thank you.
experience. I mean, really, it's, wow, mind-blowing.
It's been a privilege to serve all these years. I love public service, and I've been so fortunate that here in Las Vegas I've been able to do what I love.
And we are so blessed to have you.
Oh, thank you.
Well, before we dive into some serious questions, we would like to know you a little bit better. So I'll be asking you some rapid-fire icebreaker questions.
All right.
Each question is answerable in just one word or a short sentence.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's start. What's the last book you read?
Oh, I'm in the middle of reading one right now. It's the Liz Cheney book about the January 6th hearings.
Wow.
I don't remember the name of it.
Your favorite dessert?
Dessert, chocolate cake.
Mine too. What's your favorite childhood memory?
Oh my goodness. I think playing with my sister, always, yes.
Oh, how many sisters do you have?
I just have one.
One. So one sibling.
One sibling, and we're still very close today. We speak every morning at 7:30.
That's beautiful.
Yes, we make sure that we speak before the day gets started.
That's heartwarming for me to know, because I'm the only daughter. I have 4 brothers.
Oh my heavens.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
Just do it.
Exactly.
That's my advice to others also.
Right. Always show up. If you
Show
could
up.
travel anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Oh my gosh. The Philippines.
Oh my God. That's my beloved country. Oh, I would take you there in a heartbeat. What's your favorite way to unwind after a long day?
Reading a book or watching TV.
What do you watch? Favorite TV show?
Well, I'm a news junkie, so I always have the cable TV shows on.
Amazing. What's a skill you'd love to learn?
Oh my gosh. I'd love to learn to speak Spanish. I took, obviously I took Spanish in high school like everybody else does, but I never mastered it. And now I think it would serve me well if I spoke Spanish.
Interesting. What's your favorite holiday?
Oh, gee. My favorite holiday? Well, I love all of the holidays, but I would say the Christmas season. Even though I'm Jewish and we celebrate Hanukkah, I always think December is a wonderful time of the year. Everybody is a little kinder to each other, a little nicer to each other. So I like the Christmas holiday season.
Yeah, me too. The spirit of
The
giving.
spirit, yes,
Yes.
it's wonderful.
What's your favorite quote?
Coat? I would say it takes courage to stand up and speak, and it takes courage to sit down and listen.
I love that. What's one thing you cannot live without?
My family.
What's your favorite thing about Las Vegas?
Oh, everything about Las Vegas. You know, I grew up here, so there isn't anything I don't love.
It's the fabulous Las Vegas.
Fabulous Las Vegas.
If you could meet any celebrity, who would it be?
Oh, George Clooney.
What's the most interesting place you have ever visited?
The most interesting place, I think, was India. It was a fascinating trip, seeing how people live in a far different part of the world.
Yes. Miss Shelley Berkley, if you weren't in politics, what do you think you'd be doing instead?
I'd be a teacher.
Why is that? And what subject would you teach?
I would probably teach political science, government, or history. I think it's very important, and we don't do enough of it in this country, is teaching people about our past and teaching people about our government and how remarkable our democracy is. With all of its flaws, and it's not perfect, the fact that we live in the United States of America, we are a democratic country, we get to choose our leaders and plan our own futures without the state telling us what we can and cannot do. I think that's pretty remarkable.
Wow, I love that. I could really tell that your heart is into serving your country.
Absolutely.
And the people. If you had one superpower, what would it be and why?
Oh, it would. My superpower would be to make people healthy.
All right. I guess let's dive into the serious question. Miss Shelley Berkley, you've had an extensive career in public service. What inspired you to initially pursue a career in politics?
Well, Esmeralda, I'm the granddaughter of immigrants that came to this country. They couldn't speak English. They had no money. They had limited skills. The only thing they had when they came to America was a dream. And that dream was that their children and their children's children would have a better life here in America than they had where they came from. So I often think of myself as my grandparents' American dream. But I think in their wildest dreams, they could have never imagined the life that I'm leading. And so for me, public service is giving something back to this country for having taken my family in. Not only did we have a chance to survive, but we've had a chance to thrive, and we certainly have done that.
And you've made your parents proud because you were the first one to enter college.
Neither one of my parents graduated high school. They were children of immigrants, and they had to go to work in order to support their siblings and their widowed mothers. I never knew my grandfathers, so these are my widowed grandmothers. But in our family, it didn't matter if you were pretty or popular. It mattered that you got good grades so you could make something of yourself. And so that to me was very important.
And not only that you finished college, but you are a lawyer.
I went on to law
profession.
school. Yes. My mother, and again, who never graduated high school, she had very high expectations for her daughters. And she was very strict, made sure we did our homework before we went out to play, made sure we ate well, made sure when we went out that we always had a jacket or whatever we needed to be warm. And she made sure that our path was straight ahead and that we would make something of ourselves. So both my sister and I owe my mother a great debt of gratitude.
Do you remember that moment when you realized that this is the path you would like to take?
I'm one of those very lucky people that never agonized over their future. I knew from a very early age what I wanted to do with my life, and I just went forward and did it. And so that to me, and I know other people have, they don't know, they just don't know what they want to do yet, and they have to sample a lot of different things. I never had that. I always knew what I wanted to do. I always knew I wanted to be in public service, knew I wanted to be an attorney, and I just went for it.
Wow, it really sounds that you are very dedicated.
I have worked hard, and I think I'm an example that hard work does pay off. Good education, work hard.
Yes, absolutely. During your tenure in Congress, you were known for your strong advocacy for veterans. Can you share some of the challenges you faced while working on the Veterans Administration Medical Complex in Southern Nevada and how you overcame them?
Yes, my proudest accomplishment when I was in Congress was obtaining the permission and the money to build the VA hospital in North Las Vegas on 215 and Pecos. It took a number of years. It took a great staff all working together. But I think one of the challenges is when I got approval for that, and you know I'm a Democrat, my congressional district was a Democratic district, but a Republican president, Republican VA secretary, Republican House and Senate, and yet I was able to demonstrate the need that we had in Southern Nevada to build a VA hospital. So that was a challenge, not knowing if I could get that passed. And also, we were able to ensure that it's energy efficient. We have, you know, the solar panels on the car covered parking. And the reason there's covered parking in the parking lot is because that's where they were able to put the solar panels. And that was not in the original plans, but the architect sat down with me. He said, we have extra money in the budget. You got to get approval for this. In the long run, it'll end up saving the VA money. And so that's exactly what we did.
And how long ago was that?
When did I think we got the funding in 2006, and then of course it had to be built, but it was built in record time and on budget, and I'm very, very proud of that as well. And it's a beautiful facility, and it serves the purpose which it was intended. You know, there are hundreds of thousands of veterans in the Las Vegas Valley, and before we had the hospital, if they got sick, they had to go to Long Beach in order to get their medical services, but sometimes families can't afford to go with their loved one, and so you're a veteran who's usually older. They're in the hospital in Long Beach all by themselves, and I don't think that's good for healing. And so we were able to build a beautiful facility here, state of the art. It's fabulous.
Oh, it's a very great accomplishment.
That is the one I'm most proud of.
Healthcare has been a significant focus of your career. What are your thoughts on the current state of healthcare in Nevada, and what reforms do you believe are most critical?
Well, obviously we don't have enough doctors, but I think there's a solution for that. As you know, UNR Medical School graduates 60 future doctors every year. UNLV graduates 60 future doctors every year, and I understand they would like to go to 120 at the appropriate time. Touro University, which I ran, graduates 180 future doctors. So if you add all of that up, if we had residency programs here in Nevada, then, because you know, after you graduate medical school, you still have 3 more years of residencies or graduate medical education where future doctors work in the hospitals. If we had more residency programs, more of our graduates from medical school would be able to stay here and satisfy their residency requirement. And national statistics say that 70% of doctors end up practicing where they do their residency. So all of these future doctors that were graduating from the state of Nevada, instead of having to go to a different state and possibly not returning to Nevada, they can stay here, they can finish their education, and they can practice here in Nevada. That would be a help. Also, it would help if we were able to raise the Medicaid reimbursement. We have Medicaid here in Nevada, but a lot of our doctors don't take Medicaid patients because they don't make enough money to see the patient, so they refuse to take them. And that is not good for all of those youngsters that are on Medicaid and can't find a doctor to take care of them. Those would be two very easy solutions. It does take money, but it's a decision that our fellow citizens have to make. Do you want to pay a little bit of money and have a good healthcare system? or do you not want to pay any additional money and continue the way we are? So it's a decision that the public is going to have to make. I also would love to see a children's hospital here in Southern Nevada. I think we've reached a level of sophistication in our city that we can use a children's hospital, but I think that we could make it very successful. My son was born with spina bifida, and there was no doctor here to be able to perform the operation that he needed. So we had to go to Children's Hospital in Los Angeles for my son to get the medical attention that he needs, or needed at the time. Now he's perfectly okay. Now he's an attorney downtown. But in those early years, if we would have had a children's hospital here in Las Vegas, it would have been very, very helpful to the family.
Yes, I'm glad you have that in mind, and hopefully it will happen.
I hope so, and I think we're moving in that direction, which would be great.
Awesome. Education is another area where you've made substantial contributions. How do you see the future of higher education evolving, particularly in Nevada?
Are you talking about K through 12 or higher education?
Higher education, or both.
Look, we fund our education system 49th in the United States, and we keep expecting a different result than we're getting. We need to adequately fund our education system. The education I received in the Clark County School District, because I grew up here, the education I received was perfect for the life I'm leading. It's obsolete for the life my grandchildren are going to be leading. So we have some beautiful new schools in Southern Nevada, in Clark County. We have lots of opportunities for our children, but on the other hand, we need to ensure that our teachers are well compensated so they stay. It doesn't do any good to train a teacher and a few years after they start teaching, they realize that they can't make a living. And so they leave to be realtors or another profession, but we need those teachers here in the Clark County School District. So it's getting enough teachers to teach our children, adequately compensating them, providing good technology for these youngsters. When I went to school, there was no computers, but now that's how children learn. And we need to make sure that they have the best up-to-date equipment possible, because that's the future.
You know, I've been hearing that for the longest time, the problem with the salary of the teachers. So why do you think that has been a problem and has not been resolved?
Money. You know, look, it's if you think of all the teachers in the state of Nevada, when you give a raise, 3%, 4%, 10%, whatever it is, when it's a lot of money. But again, it's a decision because the future of this community depends on it. I love the gaming industry, but I've long been a proponent of diversifying our economy because I don't think it's a good idea. It's not healthy economically for the state to rely on one industry. But most new types of professions depend on technology, the latest technology. And if we aren't providing that and providing the best possible education for our children, we're never going to be able to attract a variety of different businesses. So it's important for our economic growth and development, but in addition to that, it's important for our democracy. Democracy depends on a well-educated electorate making decisions that impact all of us. And if you don't have a well-educated electorate, you could easily fall into a dictatorship. So if you believe in our democracy and you believe that people live better lives in a democracy, then you need to educate our fellow citizens. It's very important.
Yes, everything starts in school.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. And having a good teacher
yes.
is essential. And how do you keep them? Raise their salary.
Yeah.
Right.
Gotta pay people.
Yes, compensate them.
Yes, indeed.
Well, your advocacy for Israel has been a defining aspect of your career. How do you envision the future of U.S.-Israel relations, and what role can local leaders play in fostering international understanding?
Well, these are very difficult times in the Middle East right now. As you know, there's a war between Hamas and the State of Israel, which is very heartbreaking to me. As you know, on October 7th, Hamas, which is a terrorist organization funded by Iran, attacked Israel, killed 1,200 innocent Israelis, and took 250 Israelis hostage, many of whom are dead now. What I want to see immediately is a return of all the hostages and an accounting. Families don't even know if their loved ones are alive anymore. That's inhumane. And so we need to do that. I'd like to see a humanitarian ceasefire so that the innocent Palestinians that are caught in the crossfire are given some relief, because I don't want to see another catastrophe. And then I would like to see the Palestinians and Israelis without Hamas sit down and negotiate for a two-state solution. And I'm hopeful that that will eventually happen. It would be good for the Palestinian people. It would be good for Israel as well.
Yes, and the war.
Yeah, yes, I'd like to see that.
Running for mayor of Las Vegas is a significant step. What motivated you to take on this challenge, and what are your primary goals if elected? Well,
when I decided to retire from Turo, I started thinking about what I was going to do with the rest of my life. I'm very healthy, I am full of energy, and I have a passion to serve, to continue to serve. And I realized that Carolyn Goodman, who has served as mayor after her husband did, together they've served the community for 25 years, she had to step down because she was term limited. So I realized that there was an opening for mayor in my hometown, and how remarkable that would be. I know this city very well. There are 4 generations of my family that have called Las Vegas home. My congressional district overlaid the city, so there aren't any issues that are occurring now that I'm not very familiar with. And in my mind right now, immediate public safety. Everybody is concerned about public safety. They want to be able to feel safe in their homes and their neighborhoods. Homelessness. I read an article in the paper just this morning that we're at the highest number of homeless living on the streets. And with the temperature hovering around 110, that is brutal for anybody. It's hard enough living on the streets, but when it's 110 degrees, it is
unbearable.
Unbearable, that is the exact word. Affordable housing. And the first house my family ever bought was in Las Vegas, cost $33,000. Wow. I know. Now, it wasn't the Taj Mahal, but it gave us roots in the community. We owned we belonged here. And I know that people that are in search of a home or even a good rental piece of property are having challenges being able to afford it. That's a very important issue. And then, of course, economic growth and development. What do we want the city to look like a decade from now? Where are we moving?
Yeah,
how are we doing that? And I see hopefully a new transportation system that everybody is in their car, and the reason for that is because we really don't have a transportation system that can serve people, that knowing it's I can get on the bus or get on light rail and be at my destination in 20 minutes or 30 minutes. So we're all married to our cars. But that if we could figure out a transportation system that would work, that would be great.
Yeah, something that would be so convenient.
Yes, and convenience is very important, and affordability.
And affordability.
In addition to that, even though this is not part of the mayor's job description, with my background in education, I'd like to use my bully pulpit as mayor to make sure that we improve our education system. I've got 4 little ones, 4 little grandchildren now, a 7-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 2.5-year-old, and a 2-year-old. I want them to be in school and do well and know that they're getting a great education right here in Clark County. And then finally, access to affordable health care. Everybody wants, if your child is sick, what is the most important thing? That you get your child well and not have to run to the emergency room of the hospital just to get basic health care. So those are They're issues that I know well, and I think I could make an impact as mayor of Las Vegas.
That's amazing. Looking back at your career, what are some of the key lessons you've learned that you would like to share with our viewers?
Well, I have worked hard and had a very supportive family, but I think the most important thing is to do what you believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself and you think you can do something, don't let anybody stand in your way. Do it. The first time I ran for the Nevada State Assembly, I was pregnant with my son, Max. I was working full-time. I was in-house counsel for Southwest Gas Corporation and running for the Nevada State Assembly. Now, people were telling me, oh, you're too young and you're pregnant and you need to stay home. But it was something that I believed in and believed I could do. And so I had Max. I won the election, and then Max and I went back and forth to Carson City during the session. But I think believe in yourself, believe that you can do what you want to do, what you feel is right for you, and the rest will just fall into place.
And it's so selfless of you to serve your country.
Well, I believe in it. I truly do. The United States of America, if it wasn't for the United States, my grandparents would not have survived the Holocaust. So we're alive today because of the United States of America.
That's amazing. Lastly, can you share a memorable moment or achievement from your career that has had a lasting impact on you?
I would say that building that VA hospital in my congressional district was a very important milestone for me. I was able to do something very good for generations of veterans who I will never meet. They're gonna be using that hospital long after I'm gone. But how remarkable is that you did something that would have a lasting impact on your community?
It's something that, yeah, that's your legacy.
It's a good legacy to have.
Yes.
Thank you.
Please, the floor is yours. Address our people of Las Vegas.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to encourage everybody to get out and vote. Right now, this is the last day of early voting, and then, of course, the election is on Tuesday, June 11th. If you haven't already voted, I encourage you to exercise your right as an American citizen and go vote. As you know, it's very easy in the state of Nevada. You can vote by mail. You can do early voting. You could show up at the polls on election day. But whatever you decide to do, don't let the election season pass you by without doing what so many people across the planet do not have the right to do, and that's to decide who your next leaders will be. So that's what I would encourage everyone to do that's listening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Shelley
Esmeralda.
Berkley. Your dedication and experience is truly inspiring, and I wish you good luck.
Thank you.
This election.
Thanks a lot. And thank you for the interview. It was great.
My pleasure. It's really a pleasure to.
Thank you.
An honor and privilege to have you on VegasVibes.
Thanks a lot.
Once again, we would like to thank Ms. Shelley Berkley for sharing her inspiring journey and insights with us today. Her dedication to public service and unwavering commitment to making a difference in our community is truly commendable. As we conclude this enlightening interview, I would like to leave our viewers with a thought from Shelley herself. Success is not just about personal achievements, but about the positive impact you make on the lives of others. Stay true to yourself, to your values, be resilient in the face of challenges, and never stop striving to make the world a better place. Thank you for tuning in to VegasVibes Junction. Until next time, stay inspired and keep making a difference. God bless everyone.
Your love so special, your kiss so sweet, only your smile can complete. Now that I stand next to you, glad I was there to reassure you. The sadness in your eyes, I'll replace with eternal smiles. So now I can't resist holding on to commit, inspired to love you and keep you smile until the